Welcome to Photoshop, and today we're going to go over why I never set white inside of Photoshop. So when you open up a photo, one of the first things that people do inside of levels and curves, and I'm going to go into curves, which is Command M, is they are going to either use auto or set black and set white. Now, auto automatically picks where it sets black and where it sets white. Or you can come down here and manually select white and then pick the brightest area where you want and go ahead and set white. Now, the reason that I don't set white is very, very, very simple. White or setting white gives you a white without any detail. It's pure white. Well, an image like this, you're not going to want to set pure white because it doesn't have any pure white. So what it's going to do when you do that Command M and you come in here and you set white, it's going to make that area white. It's going to make it white without any detail. And you can see as you do that, it is totally blowing out and ruining your image. Now, can you set white? Yes, you can set white, but you need to make sure that that white doesn't have any detail. So let's go to this image. So how do we tell if this white has detail or doesn't have detail? It's very simple. What you're going to want here is the info palette, my favorite palette inside of Photoshop. And if you don't have it, you're going to drop down, go to window. Now, by default, it doesn't come with these settings. So you're going to have to come over here to this little drop down window and click panel options. And in this, I'm setting RGB color and grayscale. The important one here is grayscale. And then as you move your cursor over, you can see I'm going to put my cursor over here, but then we're going to look over here in this K value. So K stands for black. It's saying that we have 3% gray. So it's not pure white. Now, when you set white, it's pure white. It's going to be 0% right there. So if I want my background to be blown out, and in an image like this, where you might cut it out, that can be okay. But right now, there's actually gray. So if I come in here and I hit Command M, I get my white and I click over here, you can see it's blowing out all these white areas because it's overexposing the whole image to get that area to be white. So we can see in this image, it was shot in a studio and it has a white background, but there's a nice soft tonal value to this image. If we come in here, we can see it's at 10% gray value. And if once again, we come in here and we set white and I can pick a brighter area to do it, you can see it's totally blowing out her face and overexposing this area. One of the problems, and I'll hit reset here and I'll do auto, is when you set black and white, you actually have to have a true black and a true white to set for it to work very accurately. Now, you can set black more often than you can set white. It's not going to ruin your image as much as setting black and white. I don't usually do either. I usually optimize my histogram, meaning I'll come in here to this and I will slide this over to where the blacks start in my histogram, or slide this over, but it's already over there, to where my whites start in the histogram. One big misnomer I think that people have, and I see this a lot in tutorials, is people tell you to set white and set black. And that's just not a good way. So here we can see the black isn't starting till there. If I want to get that over, I can just optimize that and slide it over till it starts to get to the black. So you can see all I did really is I didn't really change much. I'm just optimizing this histogram where I'm sliding this point over to where the actual detail starts in the image. I can come in here and set black and you can see it's just way too contrasty. That's not going to work. And if I come in here and set white, which is in the brightest part, it's doing a better job. It's not blowing things out as much. But what's going to happen here, if you set white up in this top corner, if you print this image, you won't see this on the web. You will see it will have this weird fringing white spot in the image where you'll have kind of this gray detail. And then here, it won't be smooth. It will just be this weird jaggedy bright spot in the image. Actually, if they're white and there's no detail, like this whole thing, there was no detail, it's okay to set that as 0. But if you have gray value and you want to hold detail, you need to make sure you have 2 or 3% in your brightest area. So when you print it, it doesn't get blown out. Hopefully this has been helpful. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave them below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe.